He's, oh my God, what the hell is this? He's gonna try it! And will this be enough? My God,
What is up, everyone? Good morning. Yes,
morning.
it's a new time because people have different hours about stuff, but we're gonna bring you the content that you need and that we like to provide for you. But I am Josh Mabry, alongside my tag team partner in this journey, Justin Toner. How are we doing today, sir?
Doing good this morning. I got my coffee and I'm ready to talk wrestling.
Yeah, I can't do coffee so I do energy drinks, but that's not a sponsor, so I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it does well for me. But yeah, let's go on and talk about what is going on in the world of the news-wise, the dirt sheets and all that. Unfortunately, our boy Kenny Omega had a kind of a scare. Looks like it's going to be okay. He's going to be okay.
Yep.
But he revealed on his Twitter. Pretty much what was it, like right after AEW Dynamite? Like it was right on Thursday, Friday. Yeah, like the next day.
It was on Friday.
Yeah, that he is out indefinitely with diverticulitis. Chris Jericho talked about it on Dynamite. We'll get to that when we actually go through our rundown there. Yeah. And people talk about, well, what about the tag titles? That's beside the point. Kenny Omega just needs to get better. But Justin, kind of give us a little bit about what diverticulitis is. I know this happened to Brock Lesnar. He had a scare with it.
Yeah, he did.
So just kind of tell us. But it looks like they caught it early.
Yeah. It's diverticulitis basically is it's when like little pouches form in the lining of your digestive tract, usually in like the lower part of the large intestine. It's actually a pretty common thing to happen to people, especially if they're age 40 or higher. If the pouches become inflamed and in some cases they get infected, then it becomes diverticulitis, which is what happened to Kenny. Can cause severe abdominal pain, fever, nausea, and lots of Montezuma's revenge trips to the bathroom. So it's not fun. So unfortunately for Kenny, it got to the point where they were, got the pouches became infected. So he had to be hospitalized to get that taken care of. It can be very dangerous if it gets really advanced. As you mentioned, Brock Lesnar came down with this many years ago during his UFC years, and it put him out of action for quite a while because how bad it was. So Kenny said that he's out indefinitely. There's no timetable for his return, which is unfortunate, but thankfully they caught it in time. He was trying to wrestle through the pain. He was feeling pain all the way since like last week, and basically wrestled Ethan Page on Collision while he was having abdominal pains from this. So it's like he kept ignoring it until it got to the point where it's like it was so constant, like I gotta go to the hospital. So it's like, yeah. So thank God he, finally went in and got treatment. So it's like it sucks for AEW, but he's gotten the treatment and he's going to take him some time to recover. So get well soon, Kenny, because AEW is going to be missing you while you're out.
Right. So, but yeah, no, I mean, yeah, Kenny, we wish you the best wishes, safe for speedy recovery. Do what you got to do, because I mean, it doesn't sound like, because I think Brock Lesnar has some intestines taken out. I believe he actually had surgery. It was so bad with him. So it doesn't sound like that happened with Kenny, but who knows? There might be reports that come out a little bit later. Mm-hmm. But right now, because no one knew and the fact that he wrestled on it kind of crazy in itself. When people sit there and say wrestlers aren't tough, I'll point to tell that to them, to their face, because they are. There's so many times, Triple H tearing his quad, people tearing their pecs during a wrestling.
Yeah, it happened in for Brock, it happened. He was diagnosed in November 2009. His case was so bad he had to get surgery, and to treat it. So it basically, it was. I'm looking at the details. I'm not going to repeat them. It was pretty nasty. So it's like,
Brock had a real bad scare with
he had to have a foot of his colon removed, which is not good.
No,
so
that's
thankfully Kenny's apparently is did not reach the stage that Brock's did. So it looks like he didn't have to get surgery. He's just going to get treatment in order to get the inflammation in his intestines down. So that'll probably it's going to take some time, and he's got to take it easy for a bit. So we just don't know how long he's going to be out. So
gotcha.
Get well, Kenny.
Right. Speaking of other people getting out, it's kind of unfortunately the news is going to be a whole lot of injuries and health scares. Next one is Charlotte Flair. She got paid, but then she went back on the shelf because she did just sign. They just kind of reported, I think, last 24 hours that at least I saw, where she just signed an extension. I think making her the highest,
one of the highest
paid females in the sport or / WWE in that history. And then she suffered a knee injury last 2 SmackDowns ago. And we didn't know exactly the severity of it.
Yeah.
Now it comes out that she's out at least 9 months.
Yeah.
Which stinks because I was really enjoying her run recently. Like we were talking about before.
Yeah, she was actually doing pretty good right now with this current babyface run. The fans were actually cheering her, like legit. It's like in previous babyface runs, fans weren't really buying it, just because she was kind of still acting like a heel, But this run, the last several months, fans were definitely cheering for her and everything. So it was definitely working. It's just one of those freak things that happened. And it definitely sucks for WWE. So, they didn't say the extent of the injury. Michael calling them on SmackDown. But word from Sean Ross Sapp and others is that it's, ACL tears, meniscus tear, which is not good. So same pretty much what happened with Nikita Lyons, and Nikita was out for most of this year,
right?
Because she injured herself near the beginning of the year. She was out at least like 10 months. So so Charlotte's not going to be back for at least 9 to 10 months at minimum. She keeps herself in good shape. She regularly works out with her hubby Andrade, so she keeps herself in good shape. So she'll probably be back within that timetable. But we're not going to be seeing her until she won't be back. We won't be seeing her back until after SummerSlam next year.
Yeah,
so
which
best case scenario, she'll be back before next year's Survivor Series.
Yeah. The good news is the WWE's women's division is pretty stacked. So it's not going to be like, oh no, what are we going to do? It stinks for Charlotte for sure. I mean, she's one of the top stars.
Jay still hasn't made her debut yet, so it's like it sucks, but it's not gonna. The division is still pretty stacked on SmackDown as is, so it's not gonna hurt them too much. It's just gonna open up opportunities for other people to step up. That they can push a little bit more. Shotzi, Mia Yim, Zelina Vega. So, we'll see. And so much for Charlotte Jade at WrestleMania. It's like that's unfortunately off the table. That probably means more likely, I would think they'll probably maybe go Jade Bianca now if Charlotte's out.
Yeah,
which would be the next best thing, really.
When people were saying that's what they were thinking. As soon as Jade signed their deal, they were like Bianca Jade. I'm like, okay, I mean that's fine.
Because they teased Charlotte and Jade so. They were definitely thinking of having those two tangle at WrestleMania, but now, no, that's not going to happen. So, definitely Bianca would be the next best thing because that would be one hell of a match between those two.
Charlotte would definitely be the one I would have gone with.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure. Just because of how she is in the ring. She can put on a banger of a match with a squirrel. But we did have a return, which we'll kind of go over details a little bit, but Thunder Rosa, she's finally back. We say they kept teasing it for about feels like a decade that she's been out, but
Yeah.
back injuries are back injuries, man. Ask Randy Orton. He wanted to come
Yeah.
back today, and like a year ago, and he was out almost 2 years.
Yeah,
So
back injuries, depending on how serious they are, they can be killer. And it's like Randy was out 18 months, and Thunder Rosa was out almost that long. It was over a year. I don't know if I have the date down. I remember saying it was like summer last year that she had to vacate the AEW Women's title due to the back injury, and just a couple months ago, she was saying, it's like I'm getting there, but I have no idea when I'm going to get back in the ring. I'm getting better and I'm improving. And Thunder Rosa has been working the Spanish commentary team for AEW for a while. Which is a smart idea. It's like it keeps her on the road and stuff like that. And so, she Abaddon was getting a heel beat down from Julia Hart and Sky Blue, and she left the commentary desk and made the save to a big pop and got a very loud welcome back chant because fans knew that if she was getting into the ring and getting physical, that meant that she was about to get back in the ring.
Yeah.
So and then they made it official. She is going to make her in-ring return this Saturday's Collision before Christmas Eve. So this is awesome news, awesome for her, and also really good news for AEW's women's division to have Thunder Rosa back on the team. So that's going to open up a lot of interesting opponent possibilities for both Julia Hart and Timeless Toni Storm with Thunder Rosa back. So
yeah, definitely helps the women's division there.
I like Thunder Rosa a lot, so I'm really happy for her that just like Randy, it's like I'm glad that she's healed up and she can get back in the ring and do what she loves.
Yep. Our girl Liv Morgan. This came out of she got arrested for basically had a vape pen, and they found that there was marijuana in it. Therefore, she was arrested there in Florida for possession, which was under 20.
It's under 20 grams, I think.
More 20 grams. Depending on what state you're in, they don't care, or it might be a misdemeanor. But no, they took her. And they arrested her the whole 9 yards.
It sounds like she was driving high because she was like going like this on the road, which is not good.
No,
no. It's like, look, I know certain people who are friends of mine, wink, wink, nudge, who partake in marijuana now and then. I don't, but some people use it, lightly for recreation, others for legit medical purposes. But if you're so high that you can't drive properly, you should not be on the road. So that's why she got pulled over, because she was obviously very erratic. So she was high enough that she shouldn't have been driving. So I understand why she got pulled over. So that's not a good thing. So, but I understand people kind of like not thinking that it's that big of a deal and that, having to get punished for it, but it's like,
yeah. Well, according to all of the dirt sheets that I see online, is that she's basically just like, don't do that again, is her punishment from WWE. But I mean, she's been out for a while anyway. I think she's
still out with she's still out with a shoulder injury. She's been out for several months now.
Yeah.
We have no idea when she's going to be able to get back in the ring. So it was pretty severe. So, it's not like she's actively wrestling right now. She's still out injured. So it was, I think, for what everyone's saying, WWE is like, look, we're not going to punish you, but just don't get into legal trouble again, okay?
Right. This is one of those RVD things where it's like, all right, this is the 17th time RVD. We don't need you to do this.
Yeah, this is not like the RVD situation where he got stripped of the titles after he was, the height where he beat John Cena. He won the WWE, he was WWE champion.
Right. Moving on to a couple other things. CJ Perry former Lana. She had a splinter, and I guess she didn't either know that she had a splinter or just let it go. And guess what? You take splinters out for a reason. So she ended up having to go to the hospital for an infection. The thing went up her arm. The infection spread, and so they had to get all that stuff taken care of. So it was kind of there was another health scare there.
Yeah.
She was able to obviously get said splinter removed, and I'm guessing that the infections went down and everything's okay, but she still had a health scare. Yeah, when you get a splinter, guys, remove them.
I think it was removed. It was just that it caused an infection that just got really bad, which can happen. It's like sometimes, you get the splinter out, it heals up, everything's cool. But fortunately for CJ in this case, it caused an infection, and that infection got really bad really fast to the point where she had to get hospitalized and get surgery. Because like, if you've seen the pictures, like her finger looked nasty.
Mm-hmm.
It was not pretty. Thankfully, the surgery went well. It was a nice Instagram story for Bureau that he brought in lots of comfort food for his hot, flexible wife, as he would often refer to her on TV, as she recovers. And she put up her own Instagram stories, saying that it could have been fatal if she hadn't gotten treatment when she did. She says she may or may not have to do one more surgery, but it sounds like, she's out of danger, thankfully. And so thank goodness, and wish her a speedy recovery.
Yep. And the last little nugget here that I have is our girl, formerly known as Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné. It was like, she's probably going to go to AEW because she's dealing with her injury. So they debuted her, and the next thing you know, like now that Triple H and that whole situation. So now she's back in talks with WWE. A lot of like, where is she going? Blah, blah, blah. The new little nugget to this story is now that she is asking for more than Charlotte. She's asking for like to be the highest paid female wrestler in the world, which is fine. Go get your bag. But, that's where we're at right now. Would she? Will she? Where is she going to go? People really don't know. It sounds like AEW talks have kind of cooled. And then with WWE. But the thing is that I understand she's a very big star. Wherever she goes, she will draw. So she can do she has the leverage in this, to me, in this situation. So
this getting out, and also word of getting out about what Charlotte may be making with this new contract extension she's supposedly re-signed, which is all, this is just from the sheets, it's not confirmed. It's probably very likely, especially from, who's reporting it, because they have more reliable sources than others. But it prevents a problem situation, not just for trying to, if WWE wants to bring Mercedes back as Sasha Banks, you got to be careful here because, if, all right, you pay Charlotte a certain amount of money, and if she's wanting maybe a little more, you can try to see if you can negotiate to get. You got to pay her at least what you can't pay her less than what Charlotte's making, because then it's like you're being stupid, because she's going to be like, no, if you're paying Charlotte that much money, I should be getting that money, if not more, which opens problems because. As it's been widely reported, Becky Lynch's contract is going to be up after WrestleMania next year, and she's made it clear that she wants to, in recent interviews, be in WWE for the rest of her life, because she calls it her home, and I have no doubt that's going to happen. She's going to be paid the same level as Charlotte, if not more. And it's like. She's been very important, very, very valuable to WWE, so she's going to get that money.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're going to shell out whatever they shelled out for Charlotte, Becky's going to get that, and maybe even more potentially. So it's like, and it's like, and Bayley would probably deserve the same at least. It's like, you can argue about like the rankings of the horsewomen, but all four of them have been important and essential to the changing of the landscape for women's wrestling not only in WWE but in all of wrestling. Period.
Right.
You know, it's like those four led a game-changing charge for how women's wrestling is perceived and presented on TV right now, in not just in WWE but in AEW and all the other major promotions in North America. You know, it's like the women's division is treated as a serious thing. It's not just the Divas title and just, you know, quick short matches and, you know, bra and panties and all this other BS that used to happen back in the day. You know, it's like they're treated with seriousness on the level as the men, and so some cases, you know, don't get as much time as the men. You know, which Becky and others have complained about, you know, here now and then, and sometimes the booking is lacking in AEW. But it's light years difference compared to the early 2000s up to like 2015.
Yep,
like,
definitely is. They're actually, you know, I mean, they were the first. I know Ronda was involved, but Becky and Charlotte were part of the first ever main event at WrestleMania
for women. Yeah,
for
the
women.
first time ever women had the main event slot at WrestleMania was because of Becky and Charlotte and Ronda. You know, it's like so yeah, it's interesting. A lot of people are speculating that, you know, the way the women's division is being booked is probably maybe why Mercedes is not committed to AEW, and which is not surprising to me, because improper booking is why Sasha and Trinity walked out on Vince and WWE, because Vince and Bruce Pritchard were not treating them right, especially the women's tag division, which they had been promised would be, you know, they were the women's tag team champions. They were trying to get to what her and Bayley wanted to do when the women's tag titles were brought back after nearly 30 years. Because yes, the women's WWE tag titles used to be a thing. If you go back to the first ever Royal Rumble show, the women's tag team titles were on that show. They were defended. You know, it's like, so it's like, but it's like they went into the vault for a long time before Sasha and Bayley and others were pushing to bring them back. Right. Now you can have a real women's division. So
yeah.
So yeah, it's like she can take one look at how the women's division AEW is booked and be like, I don't want any part of that mess.
Right.
So it's, you know, and then now, you know, it's about money. So who knows where she's going to end up right now. Right. And so
she will end up somewhere, and she will get the bag. Yep. That's all I know. Yep. All right. Well, that's all I have for the news. Let's take a trip back to memory lane, as our Justin might look a little different in this video in this next segment, as we're trying something new here, folks. So we're just trying to get better with our production. Therefore, but this is our Smackdown recap.
Hello, folks. Here is the rundown for what happened on the December 15th edition of Friday Night Smackdown. So the show opened with the returning Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, along with the rest of the Bloodline entourage, coming out to the ring. Massive boos, of course. Roman cut a promo saying that time away, he needed to take care of some business, and that he wanted the people to acknowledge who's going to be the next Tribal Chief. And Jimmy Uso was acting like it was going to be him, but much to his surprise and obvious disappointment on his face, Roman anointed Solo as his heir to the Tribal Chief throne, giving him a big hug. So, we'll put a pin in that later. Then Randy Orton came out to interrupt, and he and Roman went back and forth. Randy said that he wanted to take everything from Roman as payback for being on the shelf for the last year and a half because of him and the bloodline. And Roman was like, you just got back. You need to earn a title shot. Get back to the back of the line. And also, if you do get me in a title match, I'm not just going to wreck you this time. I'm going to retire you for good. And Randy fired back saying that, obviously Roman's changed, and also he's evolved and changed. But Roman is obviously now a legend with his current title reign, and Orton will always be a legend killer, which got the crowd really pumped. So Orton channeling legend killer mode against Roman makes total sense. He teased RK and Roman, but was only a tease, as to say, like, I can get you at any time. And then he left, much to Roman's dismay. So, and then we get into our wrestling action. First up, we had first round match in the number one contender United States title tournament. NXT's Carmelo Hayes made his debut on the main roster. He defeated Grayson Waller in a really good match. Good showing for Mello. He is him. Looking forward to seeing what he's going to do. And then the other number one contender match from the first round, the last one, Kevin Owens defeated Austin Theory despite selling that, his hand is broken. So that sets up the second round where Santos Escobar will take on Bobby Lashley next week, and Kevin Owens will clash with Carmelo Hayes. And the two had a little face-to-face in the back later in the show, exchanging words. So that's going to be some really interesting matchups next week. Then we had Michin, Mia Yim, and Zelina Vega trying to get some more payback on Damage Control for attacking them in the lead up to War Games at Survivor Series. They were taking on the Kabuki Warriors reunited, Asuka and Kairi Sane. So nice to see them tag teaming again. Love them. Short match, but pretty fast pace. Heels came out on top on this one. So we'll see where that goes. They still this is definitely not over. And then we had our main event match. Randy Orton took on Jimmy Uso. Roman charged Jimmy Uso decided to step up the plate. Said he'd take care of Orton tonight for the Tribal Chief. It's a way to gain favor. And, well, didn't work out the best for him. Solo came out wanting to obviously help, but LA Knight, jumped him from behind and stopped that from happening, allowing Orton to hit the RKO for the victory. But Roman came out, and he and the Bloodline proceeded to beat down Orton. LA Knight tried to help, but they were outnumbered 3-2. Things were not looking good, and then all of a sudden, AJ Styles' music hit, pumping up the crowd. Roman looked toward the ramp, expecting to come out, but he did not come up the ramp. He came out in through the crowd and leapt into the ring with a phenomenal forearm right to Roman's face. And the other baby faces rallied, and they cleared the ring of the Bloodline. They stood tall, but then something strange happened. AJ Styles clotheslined LA Knight down to the ground and then walked away, much to everyone else's surprise, wondering what does that mean. So we shall see. But the main event scene on SmackDown got very interesting. So that's the rundown of Friday Night SmackDown on Fox.
Thank you for that. First thing that popped up is, I guess when you sit on the shelf and you're over 40, you come back jacked.
Yeah, everyone's come back jacked because AJ
Right.
looked like Orton came back jacked at Survivor Series, and man, AJ looked jacked too on SmackDown, man.
So I don't know what's
I guess
in
he's
the
kinda
water,
like
and
in the gym.
I'm not gonna ask him for tests.
No,
Just gonna roll with it.
a lot of gym time.
A lot of gym time. Yep, a lot of gym time. Nothing else. A lot of gym time. Obviously, everyone's always gonna jump to those conclusions when you come back looking like that.
Right.
Anyway, no, we'll get to the. I mean, that was weird how he came back, took like his revenge for 2 seconds of them putting him on the shelf, and then went with LA Knight. It's gonna be interesting. Fine, LA Knight and AJ Styles, I'll take it, but the story just kind of out of nowhere type of thing. I'm like, if it's out of nowhere, it's got to be Randy Orton.
I was confused, but some people speculated on online, and it kind of makes sense that maybe he doesn't hate LA Knight. He was maybe upset that LA Knight took his spot because he got injured. Maybe that's why he's got issue with LA Knight. I mean, obviously he's still going to be a babyface because he wants, like everyone else there. All three of them have a bone to pick with Roman and the Bloodline right now,
Right.
which is great for the main event scene. I mean, you got Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and LA Knight all wanting a piece of Roman. and trying to win the WWE title. That's a good thing. So yeah, they've basically announced that they announced afterwards that it sounds like there's going to be a triple threat number one contender match between them from because they pre-taped NXT and SmackDown through the holidays. Raw next week is going to be like a best of show, so they didn't tape anything for Raw. So we're not going to get any like live shows for any WWE until the first week of January.
Which is good for us because we're not going to be able to.
Be very interesting. I think the odds are Orton's going to get the first crack, but hey, you never know. Because I've tried to stay away from the spoilers. I did see the spoilers for NXT, but I haven't looked at anything in depth for SmackDown yet. So I want to be a little bit surprised. So a three-way match between those guys, that's going to be one hell of a SmackDown main event, though.
Yeah,
that's the only way that's going to sell it, because they all want Roman. Only one of them can have Roman at Royal Rumble. So it makes sense that all this would be like, okay, you guys doing in a three-way number one contender match where wins, you get Roman at Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
So,
with again, just kind of keeping with that. I mean, it's obviously the whole Jimmy. Like I said, Jimmy's character right now, he's hilarious. He's
I love when he yeeted and Roman did like the slow like turn like. Tell me you just did like Booker T, like tell me you just didn't say that kind of face.
Yeah.
And then he's no you.
Yeah, no you.
It's like Roman didn't have to say anything. He just gave him like the look like, did you?
Right.
I don't like that word.
You know when Stewie Griffin like the upside down face and he just slowly like looked at Brian like that. So that was good there. And then the whole, the next tribal chief in line and he was like, Jimmy, stand next to me. He's like, because he like starts taking off his jacket. He's like, yeah, he's talking about me.
Yeah, he's like,
your brother, and he was like, oh man.
And then his half-hearted like, yeah, congratulations, bro. It's just so
right. I know it's on Fox and it might be that, but it's got to be awkward as hell if you're at the event and Randy Orton's music hits. They go to commercial break and then they show. I don't know if you saw the video of
they gotta wait they gotta kill 3 minutes at a time before they come back from commercial. So like, does Randy do like a slow like walk like down to the ring, or maybe interacts with fans at the ringside? I don't know.
Video of him just right by the ring steps, just kind of just
yeah.
like, I'm like,
I get why they did it, because they didn't want to interrupt. They wanted to give the Roman Orton segment as much time as possible for them to trade words,
right?
Which worked because it was great stuff. As soon as Randy brought up that Roman was legend, I was like, oh, legend killer time. And the fans popped big when he said legend killer. So it's like, and you saw Roman's face go, oh crap, because Randy's done some very nasty things and crossed a lot of lines when he's in legend killer mode. Just ask Mick Foley and some other people.
Let's say like it's like that Mick Foley like reaction to is like he's still Mick Foley, but it's like it's Cactus Jack. It's like the legend killer, right? Like his persona. So he goes into a different mindset. You can always play on that. It's always fun there. The rest of the show was fine. I mean, Carmelo and Grayson did exactly what we were expecting them to do. This is why they put these two together. So because I mean, whatever that top rope move was that Grayson did, no one said anything of what it was called.
That's
knee thing. Whew. It was cool.
Yeah.
But all that for a false finish. So you threw that little move out the door, unless it's a jobber.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Owens, Austin Theory, fine.
It was good.
It was fine.
Yeah.
I'm just not. And then the Kabuki Warriors, nice to see them back.
Love
doing their thing.
Love that.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, Kabuki Warriors are back.
Yeah, the Kabuki Warriors was the only time that like every tag team match was a banger. Back when they were doing their thing, even when they were booking it bad.
Yeah. No, women's titles had a decent treating when Asuka and Kairi had them for a while. They had a good run with the tag titles, including a main event match at TLC where Becky and Charlotte teamed up to try to take the titles off them because they were and they had a hell of a match. Unfortunately, Kairi got injured in that match, got a concussion, but And then Sasha and Bailey took it from him, and then Asuka and Kairi feuded them for a while, which was just before Kairi decided to leave WWE and go back to Japan for a while. So they're definitely a threat to the tag division. So
Right.
And Bailey said so, like that Asuka and Kairi are gonna look to try to take tag titles, because Bailey cut a promo saying that Damage Control's mission was to get all the women's gold. So Io's the WWE Women's Champion. Asuka and Kairi are gonna try to take the tag titles, and then Bailey said that she's going into the Women's Royal Rumble, and when she wins it, she'll challenge Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Title at Mania and take it, and then they'll have all the gold.
Right.
Spoiler alert, that's not going to happen.
No, not going to happen. Last little thing before we move on to Raw is this is 2 weeks in a row that you have one of the best talkers in the business not talking the microphone, because I believe LA Knight has done basically the same thing 2 weeks in a row.
He had just a brief thing between Orton where Orton's like, "Look, I appreciate you helping me, but I didn't need or ask for your help." But and LA Knight was like, "Yeah, I understand that, but it's like, yeah, I want Roman too, and I'm going to take that title before you do." Yeah, so it's like,
right.
And I think AJ's kind of like the same mindset. It's like they all want Roman, but it's like they're willing to be like, dude, get out of my way.
Right. Which is really nice for faces, booking faces kind of that way, because typically you really don't like, you have the would they get along with Stone Cold and The Rock with the WrestleMania 17.
It's obvious that Orton and LA Knight respect each other, but they both want the same thing, and so it's like they're butting heads over it. And AJ obviously is going to be the same way. It's like
right. It'll be interesting to see. But yeah, it's nice. I know it's just nice to see AJ back.
It's very interesting what's going to happen. I mean, I think it's, even though Melo just debuted, I think it's a safe bet. KO and Melo is probably going to be a hell of a match, but I think KO is going to go into the finals. It's going to be very interesting to see who's going to win in the heel versus heel matchup, because Santos and Lashley have both been pushed really well lately, but one of them is losing this match. So it's going to be very interesting to see who and how, because they're both pretty hot right now and kind of over. Although Lashley's getting cheered more than he's getting booed, just because the fans like him. But Santos is getting the good heel heat right now with what he's done hurting the LWO. And he's killing it with promo wise. So, my guess, I think Santos is going to go over, and maybe get some help from certain people in NXT that have been rumored that are going to be helping him out. It would be my guess. So, I think that's the only way he would be able to get a win over Lashley is with some shenanigans.
Yeah, we could see that, but yeah, that's definitely going to be interesting.
Because I think like KO versus Santos would be a friggin' awesome finale for the tournament. So that'd be my guess.
Yeah, I would sit there and say Santos. And
other than that, not a bad show.
Nope. Let's move on to Raw.
Hello, folks. Here is the recap of Monday Night Raw for December 18th, 2023. So, the Judgment Day came out to open show. Damian Priest cut out a promo about him and Finn Balor taking on the Creeds. Brady Brothers in the main event for the tag titles. R-Truth came out saying that he believes that the beatdown he got from them last week means that he's now been initiated into the group. He wants to have a match too, since everybody else seems to be getting matches. JD McDonough gets in his face, not happy that Truth thinks he's in the group. That leads to them facing off in a Miracle on 34th Street fight match. And Truth says that whoever loses is going to be out of the Judgment Day. And Damian Priest kind of jokingly agrees to that. Well, it kind of backfires because R-Truth defeated JD McDonough in the Miracle on 34th Street fight, putting him through a table off the top ropes. But thankfully, JD got some good news later in the show. Nia Jax came out to cut a promo, but Becky Lynch interrupted before she could say anything. She still wants that one-on-one match with Nia. They exchanged words, and Becky finally got under nice skin enough that she said that, okay, fine, we'll have a match. She called the ref out, but then when the ref came out, she changed her mind and said that the match will be on her terms. It will be in San Diego, her hometown, on the day one episode of Raw on New Year's Day in 2 weeks. Kofi Kingston was dressed up as Kofi Claus for the holidays, giving out gifts to the fans and also to wrestlers in the backstage area throughout the show, including getting a Yeet shirt to Johnny Gargano, which he said he would give to his son because he's apparently a Jey Uso fan. Then we had Gunther taking on The Miz, and he defeated The Miz to once again remain a WWE Intercontinental Champion. His historic reign continues. Excellent match. And because Miz lost, he cannot challenge Gunther again for the title while he still has the belt. Gunther came up to Imperium in the back. They congratulated him, but he told them that he appreciated that. He was not happy with how they've been performing lately and that he's going to take a few weeks off and that while he's gone, they need to step up their game. Then Kofi Claus came up, tried to cheer Kaiser up with a gift, but it was a lump of coal because, well, he's been naughty this year. Kaiser didn't appreciate that. That would come back to haunt Kofi Claus later. Shinsuke Nakamura cut a very interesting promo where he regaled the audience with the American Nightmare before Christmas, a poem he concocted that said that he was going to spend the holidays planning to stop Cody Rhodes from finishing his story, insulted his father, calling him an inbred. And after Nakamura was finished, Cody appeared and attacked him, and they brawled down to the ringside area right to the announce desk before security broke them up. So he was getting kicked up a notch. Then we had a WWE Women's Tag Team title match. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven defending against Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. And, well, the young kids from NXT pulled off the upset. Katana Chance and Kaden won the tag titles from the duo and are the new Women's Tag Team champions. Quite a surprise there, but very cool. We'll see if that happens with that. Then Ivar took on Kira Tozawa, defeated him with a world's strongest slam off the second rope, squashing the poor man. Seth Rollins came out to do an interview about facing Drew McIntyre at the day one episode of Raw for January 1st. Drew came out, thanked Seth for not kissing CM Punk's ass like everyone else in the back, and then went on a motive rant pretty much where he was like, I need to win this title to validate all the sacrifices I've done. Seth said while he respects Drew, he doesn't have trouble believing him. He has trouble believing him because his words and his actions have not lined up. And then he made the mistake of saying that he pitied Drew, just like Sammy did, and that caused Drew McIntyre to snap and attack. They had a fight at the ringside. Drew ended up Alabama slamming Seth face first in the ring steps, with Seth acting like his arm has been hurt to continue the build to their title match. Kofi Claus came back out to hand out more presents to the fans, but Imperium attacked him for the lump of coal given to Kaiser earlier. Jey Uso made the save and wanted a match with Kaiser, and he got it. And Jey Uso beat Ludwig Kaiser. Kofi took care of Giovanni at ringside with Trouble in Paradise, and Jey and Kofi celebrated with the fans afterwards. Back in the locker room, Priest told JD McDonough that he was not out of Judgment Day, despite losing the truth. He was still in the group, and Rhea was pissed, saying that they needed to show people who's on top and that they still run the show. She's going to take out Ivy Nile in a title match coming up, and told Damian Priest and Finn to get the job done tonight. And then that led to the main event, Judgment Day defending the tag team titles against the Creed Brothers. Awesome main event. Fans really got into it. Several near falls. Looked like the Creed Brothers were going to pull off and win the titles, but Judgment Day was able to pull it out and get the victory and hold on to the titles, and they stood tall to end the show. So that was Monday Night Raw for this week.
Thank you for that. The Creed Brothers are...
For people wondering why Jay made the save on Kofi and not Xavier Woods. Apparently, Woods is a bit banged up and is sitting at home healing up right now. So that's why Jay made the save instead of Xavier Woods.
Okay, that makes sense on why he gave the whole year. Well, I mean, Jay and them. If you just watch Up Up Down Down all that stuff, you know.
And plus him giving out the Yeet shirt to Johnny was kind of like foreshadowing that Jay was gonna help him out later in the show.
Right. The Creed brothers are amazing.
Dude, they're amazing, man. God, I love watching these guys. I've been high on them for a long time, man. They're like the second coming of the Center Brothers, man. It's like they're that fucking good.
Yeah.
And they proved it. They've been proving it, and they proved it again in this match. The crowd really got into this match, especially the near falls when they thought that the Creeds hit their tag team finisher, the Cannonball, with Brutus. It's like the fans thought they were going to win the titles, and so did I for a second. And then
it kind of got me too.
I was just like, oh,
that was really good production work because that got me too. Because I couldn't see where was it Damien or Finn.
I didn't see Finn, and then Finn came in out of nowhere and broke up the pin at the last second. So it was just like, just awesome stuff. I know some people probably were hoping Creed would win, but it's a little too soon to give them the titles. You know, they're definitely getting the big push from Triple H. But yeah, no, it makes perfect sense to have them hold on titles for just a little bit longer, because I think the whole R-Truth situation is going to exacerbate Damian Priest being removed from Judgment Day. That's like the R-Truth is causing new cracks in the foundation that are eventually going to cause more problems down the line, I think. So it makes sense that they keep that because they want to look strong for at least a little bit longer before things get worse. So
yeah, and his shirt with the little tape at the bottom. This is and R-Truth. I don't know if you noticed that on the shirt.
Yeah, I love how Truth added his name to the Judgment Day T-shirt with all their names on it. That was hilarious. R-Truth's killing it, man.
Yeah, and then the whole I think he cracked Damien like 3 times during that.
Oh yeah, no, I think that's why that's why he was kind of like he chuckling a little bit when he agreed to the loser leaves Judgment Day stipulation added to the street fight, just because it felt appropriate. Because he was probably internally, dear God, R-Truth's hilarious.
Yeah, and then the whole thing of I want to take on JD. It's like, Truth, we are. Oh, for real?
Oh, for real? And also, I love how Dominic was like ribbing JD that he lost to R-Truth in the locker room, and then at the end he's like, "But hey, you're still Judgment Day, man, right?"
Right. Yeah, still there.
So it's like that was also bringing in the funny with his ribbing of JD for losing to R-Truth. It was pretty funny. Yeah. But no, it's a good there.
Gunther still that Gunther Miz match was awesome.
That was even better than their Survivor Series match, I think.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
If you can make the fans believe that the Miz was actually going to end Gunther's historic Intercontinental title reign, you have a win. Because when, especially when he did the skull crushing finale off of the second rope, fans were going nuts. They're like, pin him, and then he's like, and he hesitated, he went to pin him, and then Gunther just rolls out, and then the fans are like, oh.
Right. And then, shout out Katana and Caden for getting the titles. I mean, they're the actual only
they're legit
tag team.
They have the color coordination. They have a cool combo finisher. I love their finisher. The last party. It's a really cool.
They have a couple of finishers too. But that one is really good.
I've been fans of them for a while. They've really gelled as a team in their time from NXT. So I think this is a good move to put the titles on them. Just don't know how long they're going to keep them, because with the Kabuki Warriors looking to take the tag team gold again, because they had it before. They have their work cut out for them. And already they've already set up Zoe Stark and them all want a piece of the tag title. So Shayna and Zoe are taking on Tegan Nox and Natalya as who gets the first crack at Caden and Katana for the titles. So that match, I think, is set for the day one episode as well, if I remember correctly.
Okay. Zoe and Shayna?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know they had and then Tegan was back there with it. So it was all like, hey, here's our tag division, guys. If you didn't know it, It's like, yeah, I got it, which is fine there.
And also, don't count out Chelsea Green and Piper Niven getting a rematch because they posted a video where they were interviewed afterward and they were pissed, especially Piper Niven. It was like Piper Niven goes, "All I want for Christmas is revenge," right into the camera because she was pissed.
The Nia and Becky stuff is pretty solid so far.
You know, I don't know if the match is going to be any good, but
yeah. The build's doing well.
The build is fantastic. That where she was calling out, like it's like it's like first you rode your the fame of your cousins, and then it's like I was like, oh damn, she's really going there.
Right.
It's like she really got, you could see it. Nia Jax did a good job of like with the facials where she finally was just like, fine, damn it, I'm gonna destroy you in the ring. It's like she's had enough of Becky's insults. So yeah, they're finally facing off at the day one show. It's gonna be very interesting what's gonna happen, especially with Rumble around the corner, because I think Becky's like one of the top favorites to win the Rumble, because I think this plan is still Becky Rhea at Mania, which makes sense because they've been teasing Becky and Rhea facing off for over a year now. They've been teasing that ever since Survivor Series last year. They've had the brief run-ins, they've had stare downs, exchanging words. So it's like just to remind you that eventually those two are going to clash at some point, and it's like at WrestleMania is the right time. So. Yeah, I think, in a recent interview I saw, Becky pretty much said that after she's done with Nia, she wants Rhea. She wants Rhea because she wants to take the title. She basically was like, she goes, yeah, Rhea's defending the title, but it's like she gets more attention helping out Judgment Day win matches than she's defending the title, and I don't like that. So I'm gonna go after her, and I'm gonna take the title from her. So she's made it clear she wants Rhea. She wants that title match with Rhea. So
for sure. Last little thing, like I told you, like I messaged you when I watched it, McIntyre is just if he's wanting to leave the company, he's leaving it on a really good note because he is balling right now.
He's crushing it with his heel turn.
Yeah, with his heel character.
Like he's like it's great where he's acting like he's still like a nice guy, but then if you say the wrong thing or something, he just snaps. Like as soon as Seth said he pitied him, I was like, oh shit.
Yep.
Because that's what Sammy did, and he went nuts on Sammy. I was just like, oh, it's on now.
Right.
And so great stuff between the two of them.
Yeah, I want to get into this Cody Shinsuke. You just know it's a throwaway, and that's just why I can't do it.
I appreciate the cleverness. As soon as I saw American Nightmare for Christmas start laughing, I'm like, okay, that's clever stuff.
Yeah, it's clever.
He's like, then he mentioned that like Dusty was inbred. I was like, oh, Cody's going to be pissed now.
Yeah.
One thing that will easily set off Cody is insulting his father, the American Dream. It's like he will not stand for that.
Yeah, but overall, solid show.
No, very, very, really lots of good wrestling. Very well paced show. Definitely one of the better Raws. Good Raw to close out 2023 on because the next is like a best of show. So it's like it's going to be. I don't even know if I want to even recap it. I'll probably just be like, maybe just mention like what some of the highlights they put on there. Maybe so it'll be really quick. So,
all right, let's move on to AEW.
Yeah. Hello again, folks. Here is a recap of the recent events on the AEW shows. We're going to start with Collision. On Collision, we had Continental Classic matches. Claudio Castagnoli defeated Andrade in the Blue League. Then next match was Abaddon taking on defeating Jasmine Allure. After the match, Julia Hart appeared along with Sky Blue, and they joined forces to attack Abaddon. And then, to everyone's surprise, Thunder Rosa left the Spanish commentary desk to make the save. And looks like Thunder Rosa is finally cleared to return to the ring because afterwards it was announced that Abaddon and Thunder Rosa would team up in a tag match against Julia Hart and Sky Blue on next week's Collision. The Acclaimed and Billy Gunn cut a promo saying they were back and they vowed to find and destroy the Devil and his goon squad. Then Top Flight and Action Andretti came up and challenged them to a match for the trios titles next week on Collision, and they accepted. Orange Cassidy defeated Brian Keith in his AEW debut to retain the AEW International Championship. FDR came up there and cut a promo calling out House of Black for a match. The House of Black cut a promo back in response. So they're probably going to have a match at the pay-per-view. That's not official yet. Then we had a street fight where Will Nightingale and Chris Statlander, with a very Pulp Fiction, Quentin Tarantino themed outfits, defeated the team of Mercedes Martinez and Diamante. Lots of brutal stuff in that one. Adam Copeland cut a pre-taped promo saying he wants to challenge Christian Cage to a rematch for the TNT Championship World's End, and with the stipulation of no disqualifications. Brian Cage squashed Kerry Wright. And then close out, we had more Continental Classic Blue League matches. Eddie Kingston defeated Daniel Garcia, and Bryan Danielson defeated Brody King in the main event in a hell of a match. All right, on to this week's Dynamite, which was a Holiday Bash episode. Show opened with a Gold League match. Swerve Strickland defeated Roosh, tying him with Jon Moxley at 12 points. And commentary said that if in the Moxley Jay White match later in the show, if Moxley would win, it would be Moxley versus Swerve in the finals. But if Jay White wins, they would all be tied, and it would be a triple threat match next week for the Gold League finals. Even though they were eliminated, Mark Briscoe and Jay Lethal had their final Gold League match, with Mark Briscoe coming out on top, leaving Jay Lethal winless in the Gold League first round. Then Samoa Joe and MJF had a face-off in the ring over the recent events. MJF basically asked Joe if he thinks he's a devil, which he does, and he, of course, denied it. And while they were talking, they were attacked by a large army of masked goons. They fought them off. Then the four main goons, who have been the devil's henchmen lately, surrounded the ring. The lights went out, and the devil himself appeared on the screen with a message for them saying, "Where do you go? Who can you trust? Will you accept the challenge for the ROH World Tag Team Championship next week? Are you a hero, Max?" MJF was about to convince Samoa Joe to do it, but Samoa Joe accepted the challenge right away. Riho defeated Saraya to become number one contender and will face timeless Toni Storm at World's End for the AEW Women's title. Tony was on commentary and came down and went after Riho after the match. They got into it, and Maria May arrived to help her idol, Timeless Tony, out of trouble. Backstage, MJF was shown finding a goon mask laying just outside the door to the Mogul Embassy locker room. He first confronted Prince Nana about it, but then Swerve came out to talk to him, and he and MJF had a war of words with insults against each other. And MJF basically accused Swerve of being behind the devil's stuff. And Swerve denied it and promised that one day he was going to take the AEW World title from MJF. Samoa Joe came in and separated the two before things could get physical. Roderick Strong defeated Commander, and then after the match, the Kingdom went around plastering MJF as the devil signs all over the ringside area to continue their insinuations. And then the main event time, Jim Ross joined the commentary team, which is nice to see. And we had Jay White taking on Jon Moxley in the final Continental Classic Gold League match of the first round. It was a heck of a fight. And Jay White injured Moxley's knee, which he sold during the match, which allowed him to finally be able to capitalize and hit the Blade Runner to beat Moxley, leaving Moxley, Jay White, and Swerve all tied at 12 points, meaning the three would face off in a triple threat match to determine the winner of the Gold League next week on Dynamite. Swerve came out to confront, and Moxley was distracted, and Jay White chop blocked Mox's injured knee again as the show went off the air. So That's all the happenings on AEW this past week.
I just want Swerve and MJF. We can skip over the mask stuff. We can skip over it. Just give us
Dude,
give us MJF.
That
and
face
Swerve.
off was mwah.
Yeah.
The insults they were trading back to each other. Like, I love Swerve calling MJF the best chauffeur he ever had.
Right.
Oh, I also love the stealth insult where Swerve brought up about Regal not accepting NXT, and then implying that yeah, you got rejected, but I got accepted.
Right.
Is pretty much that was great stuff. I totally want to see MJF Swerve feud, but that's probably gonna wait because word is people are saying that he can barely lift that injured arm. So there's gonna probably be some smoke and mirrors with this tag title match next week and definitely at the pay-per-view. I think he's gonna be dropping the belt and probably take some time off to heal. Hopefully not too long, but if what they're saying is true, then it's like they gotta take him off TV for a while and let him heal. Because if he can't properly lift that arm, it's like he's not gonna be able to do much in the ring. It's like there's gonna be a lot of smoke and mirrors going on.
Right. Just kind of going back to Collision with the Thunder Rosa stuff. I mean, Sky Blue. Okay, this is where I don't really get the. It's like, all right, no, I'm gonna turn on you and put you with Mist. Now I'm gonna be with you again, and there was no in between.
That's the problem with the bookings sometimes with the women's division because at first Sky Blue rejected Julia Hart. It's like, no, I'm not on your side. Now all of a sudden she's on her side, or it's either that or she doesn't like Abaddon. I don't know.
Right.
The lack of explanation hurts, but the positive is Thunder Rosa is going to get back to the ring, so we'll see what happens. If it means her coming at her versus Julia Hart for the TBS title, big thumbs up to that because that'll be a hell of a match. The tag match is a good start because that will allow Thunder Rosa to get off some of the ring rust. She's been out for over a year, so. This Continental Classic tournament, I had my skepticism about it because it's like, oh, it's more titles, but these guys have been putting on banger matches. Like no match has sucked. It's either been good or like banger level stuff from these guys. Even the Jay White Mark Briscoe one, which had no stakes because they were both eliminated at that point. It was just about like I don't want to be winless. And they went all out. They had a great match.
Well, you knew they were. The chemistry's going to be there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because they go way back to in ROH days. So I definitely and actually I gotta give them credit. They're doing some storylines in this tournament outside of who's winning because Lethal did not win a match. So that can obviously lead to problems between him and Jeff Jarrett and company, where it's like I've become too reliant on you guys to help me win matches, and it's like, yeah, you're not there, and now all of a sudden I can't win a match to save my life. They can do that. And Daniel Garcia hitting rock bottom because I don't think he's going to be beating Eddie Kingston because it feels like they're trying to get Eddie into the semifinals, pulling off like a comeback after losing the first two matches. So I think Garcia is going to go winless as well for him to hit rock bottom before going back up. Because they're definitely building tension between him, Daddy Magic, and them. Because like Daddy, when he lost his last match there, Daddy Magic was on commentary, and he was like had a very unhappy look on his face when he lost his last match. So it's like there's problems there in the former JAS.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because they've been complaining about his dancing, that he's not taking things seriously, he's not focused and stuff. So that's definitely building something as well.
And plus, Angelo and Daddy Magic and Jake Hager kind of doing their own trios thing now anyway. So, because Daniel's kind of been doing his own thing, really, aside from them with his, like you said, with his dancing and everything like that. But hey, guess what? It's getting over. So it's working. That's why he keeps doing it.
Absolutely.
So apparently, if you're Prince Nana or Daniel Garcia, just dance. That's how you get over. Just dance. That's all you have to do.
I hope something serious happens next week because it's like They got to pull off the reveal next week, especially at the pay-per-view, and get and unmask who the devil was. You can't drag this out too much longer because then it's going to get really bad. It's like just reveal who it is and let's move on to the next phase, especially if they're going to cost MJF the title, which is highly likely.
Which, like I told you before, like it's like, and the thing was when they were showing the board, like there was no music behind it; it was just silent. Which I guess you can go for that, but it took forever for that to kind of show. And then you heard somebody in the crowd was like, "It's Bully Ray," because it's so aces and eights, like that part. Because like aces and eights was cool, and then it just fell apart really quick because they drug it
after
out.
After the reveals of who was behind Ace and Ace happened, it started to go downhill. Because like the build-up was fantastic. Everyone agrees on that. Like go check out Brian Zane's Wrestling with Regret video about the Aces and Ace storyline. It's like he does a great job recapping how great the build was, and then how after the reveal of Bully Ray and others being behind it, and then it started to go downhill not long after that, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I'm definitely looking forward to that triple threat with Jay.
Oh God,
John,
yeah,
Swerve.
Mox, Jay White, and Swerve triple threat. That's going to be one hell of a main event match next week for the Gold League. Yeah. I don't know where the Blues look good because there could be. It depends on who wins. It's like who's going to end up going into the next round out of the first round. It's a lot of possibilities. So it's going to be very interesting what's going to happen on Collision with that. So
definitely will. But, I mean, solid. I mean, again, we have a couple things here and there, but these matches that AEW is putting on for this Continental Classic just make it to where it's like, this is really good. AEW, it was really good, and then people are like X, Y, and Z, about the devil mask and stuff like that. Like, yeah, it's not perfect, but when you put out those banger matches, it overcompensates for the lack of what the heck they're doing with the devil stuff.
Yeah. Also, keep putting Toni Storm on as a guest commentator because she
was hilarious.
When she told Taz, "You're my favorite landlord. I heard you are the human duplex machine." Yeah. I was like this. I was like, that's hilarious.
Yeah. She's
awesome.
She's killing it right
and
now.
Also the commitment to the black and white, where like when they cut to her with the commentary team, it's in black and white, but then it cuts back to the ring, it's back in color. Just fantastic.
Yeah, just fantastic stuff. All right, and let's close it out with NXT.
Yep. Hello again. Here is the recap of the events of this week's NXT. We start off the show with Fallon Henley taking on Tiffany Stratton. Fallon Henley defeated Tiffany with a roll-up schoolboy. Tiffany didn't appreciate losing the match that way and attacked Fallon Henley afterwards. They brawled to the back, and Tiffany got the better of her and ended up dumping a whole can of garbage on top of her head. More on that later. NXT champion Ilya Dragunov came out to cut a promo ahead of his match with Trick Williams at New Year's Evil when Ridge Holland, of all people, came out through the crowd with no music. He says he's come back to NXT to find himself after recent events. He references injuries in the ring happening around him, obviously reference to what happened with Big E. Wants to get past that and asks for a match with Ilya, and Ilya accepts. Non-title, of course. Alexis King defeated Dion Lennox in the first round of the NXT Men's Breakout Tournament. Eddie Thorpe cut a promo challenging Dijak to an NXT Underground match next week. Dijak later responded in the show with his own promo and accepted the challenge. Then we had a tag team match, Izzy Dame and Kiana James, New Alliance, taking on the Chase U pair of JC Jane and Thea Hale. And Izzy Dame and Kiana James came out on top when Thea Hale got distracted by the hot young student in the crowd that she's got a crush on, allowing the heels to win the match. Then we had Dragon Lee defending the NXT North American Championship against Charlie Dempsey. And then Joe Coffey, who inserted himself in the match. But, hey, Dragon Lee was fine with that. Turned into a triple threat. And Dragon Lee came out on top. The No Quarter Catch crew, of all people, decided to attack Dragon Lee after the match. But Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde of the LWO arrived to make the save for Dragon Lee. Then we had Tavion Heights defeating Lucia Crucifino in the first round of the men's NXT Breakout Tournament. Then we had Nikita Lyons defeating Tatum Paxley as payback for what happened last week. Tatum continues to bring out the creepiness in the stalker angle with Lyra Valkyria. Fallon Henley was pissed in the back with Briggs and Jensen. Says she plans on getting payback on Stratton for humiliating her. Tiffany later responded with a promo saying that they will have a match at New Year's Evil show. But if Tiffany wins, Fallon Henley will become her servant. Then we had Gallus, Mark Coffey, and Wolfgang defeating the team of Hank Walker and Tank Ledger after the match. And then we had the main event match, non-title match. NXT champion of the Dragunov taking on Ridge Holland. Ended up being no contest because of Holland did a suplex and where Ilya landed on his neck, and Ilya acted like he had been hurt. Ref checked on him. Ilya was clutching his shoulder and acting like his arm can't move. Ilya was taken out on a stretcher as the match was a no contest. Ridge Holland looked very worried and upset, and that was the end of the show. Per reports, this injury is not legit. It's all storyline, and I have a lot of feelings about that, which I'll go over with Josh in more detail once this recap is over. Only other thing in note, the Chase U saga continues. He has put himself and Chase U into a double or nothing match with Scripps' crew to try to get his hands on money to help pay off his debts. And that probably is not going to turn out very well. So, but anyway, that's all the events of this week's NXT.
All right, thanks for that.
One quick note: our girl Roxanne Perez was on the show. She got into it with Ariana Grace, so that's probably going to set up a match. So she's probably going to get her bounce back win off of Ariana Grace. So
Okay.
because Ariana Grace was running her mouth, and she slapped the heck out of it. So go Roxanne. Because Ariana Grace is doing a good job with her character. Her character's supposed to be know the heck out of you, and that's exactly what she's doing. So
Okay. Cool. But yeah, like you were saying at the end of it, and I watched obviously, like I said, I'm boycotting NXT for obvious reasons, but I did see the injury, quote unquote injury, that happened, and I'm like, of course it's Ridge Holland, and I mean maybe this is where you're having issue, like if this is all storyline, like are they really leaning into the fact that he injures people as a storyline? Like I'm not a big fan of that.
Look, this might be I'm gonna feel like it's mini rant time because it's like, all right, I love HBK. I love what he's done turning NXT around in the last year, making it good again. This is a bad idea. This is a bad idea to take feelings people have about Ridge Holland. This is like, do you imagine the backlash if they did this kind of angle with Nia, with her history of nearly injuring people? But this is even worse because, what happened with Biggie was an accident. It's like he did not do that on purpose. It was an unfortunate accident. That kind of stuff happens. And he felt really bad about it. And he got a lot of crap about it, and like including up to some very, like death level kind of threats from people online. And Biggie had to come out and say, leave the guy alone, man. And it's like, it's like it's not his fault. It was an accident. Back off. Them leaning into that for a storyline injury is bad idea written all over it. Not a fan of this. Don't like it. I don't know why they're throwing this as a monkey wrench into the whole storyline. What's going on between him, Trick, and Mello? Because throughout the back of the show, Trick and Mello were going back and forth, and Mello continuing to act more sus, basically wanting to insert himself into the title match at New Year's Evil to make it a triple threat. And Trick is like, dude, what are you talking about? It's like making him even more sus. It's like it's becoming more and more obvious that Mello is going to turn on him he's probably going to screw him in the title match at New Year's Evil. It's because it's a clear path where they're going with this, and I know people are going to be disappointed because they love the pairing, they love how their relationship is paired, but it's like the Mega Powers. Sometimes egos get in the way, man. It's right. Like Macho Man had his ego and jealousy get the better of him, and that's why him and Hogan had the falling out. It's happened before. It's like, and it's obvious that Melo's ego is getting to him, and obviously he's getting jealous that Trick is ascending and he is descending, and his ego is having a problem with that, and it's building toward a crescendo. And so, I mean, it's going to be revealed that he probably was behind the attack. But this Ridge injuring Ilya to make him look more vulnerable ahead of his match with Trick at New Year's Evil, nah, bro. Thumbs down.
Yeah, I mean, he also, I think he had a couple other Pretty Deadly. Obviously, he unfortunately did the injury with them.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. It's like
he's got a history of it.
You shouldn't be leaning into that kind of stuff.
No,
that's just going to open yourself. It's going to open people coming after him again for that stuff, and you're just opening yourself up to a can of worms of criticism. Right. And our buddy Gift Taylor, we were talking about on Discord. He's like, this is the worst storyline idea Sean has done since he's taken over running NXT, and I have to agree. It's like, Sean, I love you. You're doing a really good job, but this is a bad idea.
Yeah, I just didn't care for it.
Other than that, this was a pretty good show, building up a lot of storylines leading into the New Year's Evil show. I'm not a fan of storylines, but I appreciate Tatum Paxley putting in the work to make herself look as creepy as F. Right? I mean, she's got the black feather, and like treating it like it's like a totem, and just like doing like this. It's just like, I'm like, she's committed fully to being the crazy stalker. So yeah, I give her props for that. Don't know if this is going to lead to good things. We'll see. This definitely puts Lyra in danger of losing the title to Blair at New Year's Evil. We'll see. I'm kind of hoping not. I want to see her hold the title on maybe a little bit longer, at least till the next pay-per-view show for NXT and Vengeance Day in February. But who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, who really knows? But yeah, I just kind of, from what I saw, like I said, until you put the belt back on Roxanne, I'm just not going to watch it. Just kidding. I'm with you 100%. But just come on, guys, don't do that to Ridge. Like, he's already probably feels bad enough as it is for all. He's trying to get out. It's not like he wants to go out there and injure people. It's just, unfortunately, that's what it is. But in the fact that you just lean into it, it's like, really?
Yeah,
that's poor form.
But on the positive side, I really like what they've been doing with this Fallon Henley-Tiffany Stratton feud. It's really been a good build. And now we got a very dangerous stipulation for Henley where Tiffany says that if she beats her at New Year's Evil, she will become her manservant. She will become her Virgil. And NXT is not afraid to do that storyline because they did the exact same storyline with LA Knight and Cameron Grimes, where Cameron Grimes not only lost the $1 million title to LA Knight, but he had to become his Virgil manservant.
Right.
So Fallon Henley is in danger of becoming Tiffany's woman servant.
Yeah. So that'll be.
I could totally see them doing that. So it's like, unless they're going to pull a surprise and have her pull out another upset win on Tiffany, but I think they're going to go for the Tiffany winning to spice things up and see what happens.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, but I love their feud. The promo work between them is great. Fallon Henley is definitely showing that she's got real potential. She's come a long way. They definitely see something in her with this feud she's had with Tiffany, which has really helped her get up to another level in the women's division. So I like it.
Yeah.
Chase U stuff. Andre Chase has got a gambling problem, buddy, and it may not turn out well for Chase U.
Right.
Because he's up money, but then he's like, let's go double or nothing, and Duke Hudson's like, what are you doing?
Right.
Oh man. And let's see, anything else? Other than, Nikita's looking good. I don't know about her outfit. It's a little the I don't know with the tassels. I don't know, but
They're leaning into her kickboxing stuff. I think it's just more of a cultural
I think
thing.
so.
Her jujitsu, kickboxing type of, but like her way she trains. I think they're just leaning into that.
Also, they're definitely they're making Joe Gacy be cray cray in a good way, and the fans seem to be taking to it because they're cheering him. They like cray cray Joe Gacy, who's obviously her being a pain in the arse for various heels. I think it's leaning toward Gallows doing something to him because he's been giving them headaches recently. So if it's getting him over, good. I mean, like I said, I did not like how the character was presented for a while. Did not like the whole schism angle. I thought that was death. But this is much better. And if it's getting him over, then hey, I have no problem with it. So we'll see how it goes. But they're definitely rehabbing him with turning him. Basically, he's been turning face with him kind of like losing his mind and doing weird stuff. So,
gotcha. And also, what's the Rock's daughter's wrestling name?
Ava Rain.
Right. Ever since Schism stuff, and then I think the last time we saw her was like when Paul Heyman was there to just talk about the bloodlines.
Yeah, I don't know where that's going. That's kind of put a hold. She's kind of been acting as like a go between wrestlers on the roster and Sean. So I guess they're in a holding pattern trying to figure out what they're going to do with her because I don't think they're going to pull any trigger on her being on the main roster with the bloodline. But obviously, that video of her meeting with Heyman was definitely a tease of that happening down the line. So. Yeah, I think that she's just in a holding pattern because they're trying to, now that the schism angle's over, they're trying to figure out what to do with her. So
okay, and then as far as holding patterns, I did see an article we forgot to do it, and we'll do it as far as the ending of the show. Last little thing. So the reason we haven't seen Omos and the guy that was doing the stalker stuff. Help me out here. With the mustache.
Dexter Lumis.
Yeah, Dexter Lumis. So Omos, they're basically saying they just don't want to overuse him, whatever that means. So he's appeared on house shows and stuff like that. Dexter Lumis, they just other than him appearing on that show and talking for the first time, they just don't have anything for him.
Yeah, it's like he's in the deadly no creative ideas. So it's like we don't have anything we don't know what to do with you right now. So which is unfortunate. They'll probably throw him in the Rumble as a body, probably.
Maybe. Omos will be in the Rumble.
Because putting him back in with Johnny and them would seem a little weird because they're trying to, Candice and Indy are kind of like reteaming to help bolster the women's tag division, which is good because Indy and Candice are previous women's tag champions in NXT. And of course, DIY is getting that slow push rise to the top of the tag division. So Dexter Lumis would kind of be a weird wrench in that. So I think that's probably why he's been kept away from the Johnny and them for the time being.
But yeah, almost they just don't want to keep because I mean he only do like one type of match, and it's not and the way they made his character, it's not like you can do anything different with him. So it's like
the Brock feud at WrestleMania made sense because it was a spectacle match. Like, can Brock take down a giant? Yeah, it's like. So, he's not horrible in the ring, but he's limited. It's like it's like guys like his size, they can only do so much. So, which sucks for MVP because MVP is not on the TV anymore. Kind of miss MVP. So, I wish they bring him back and put him back with pair him back with Lashley and company. I think it would be a good idea.
That would definitely hurt business 2.0. But
no,
anything else? I think that is it.
I think that covers everything for this past week.
Well, thank you so much, Justin, for making those video breakdowns. Let us know. Obviously, leave a comment down there. Is this one of the worst booking decisions that HBK has made? Since he's gotten there, most likely. Do you think that the Continental Classic was a home run or okay? To me, it's a home run. But just
home
let
run
us
so
know.
far.
Let us know what
Mhm.
you just leave your comments of what you think's going to go on. Kind of what you like, what you didn't like. Down in the comments section below, hit that like button, subscribe, ring that bell to let you know when we go on at this new time, early in the morning. But we are still here to bring you the great content. Obviously, this is going to be the last Ruckus Wrestling for the year. But thank you all so much for taking this journey with us as we're starting it in our infancy,
Taking a
I
short
guess you
break for
could
the
say.
holidays. We'll be back in January.
Yeah, so hopefully no CM Punk news will break because that's kind of what happened when we did take our week off
Yeah.
the last time for holidays, but it is a holiday, so we will be back in 2024. Hopefully there's a bidding war for us in 2024 like MJF. Maybe, who knows? Maybe for some sponsors out there, shout out, who cares? But yes, and also join the Patreon, patreon.com/RuckusTV. As Bobby Burger says, jump on the rocket ship
Join the
and
rocket
join
ship.
us on the journey. Oh, yep, we're going that way. I always forget it kind of does the mirror effect on here. But thank you all so much for joining, and we will see you in 2024.
Ooh.